Teal, wait, what's Among Us?
Yo, can you explain?
Alright, guys.
I'm
Shut
the
up!
imposter.
Shut
Oh
up!
my
Oh, wait.
I'm crewmate.
Teal, did you add an engineers?
No engineers.
Alright, can you guys hear me?
Lame.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
it's M to mute.
Engineers are the only special role.
Okay, it's M to mute.
Yeah.
Button.
Oh shit.
Alright, guys. I am currently streaming my perspective. Random middle of nowhere stream. So yeah. If you guys are curious, I have no idea how to play Among Us 3D because it just came out in 3D. So.
Did I scare you? Did I get you there?
But yeah.
Did I scare you? Oh. Aw.
But yeah, yeah. This is gonna be I don't know how long I'm gonna be streaming for, but we are here. We're hanging out. And I'm scared. We're gonna be streaming with Kill, but the hollow one.
When my turn. Aww.
Among
This
Us.
game's confusing.
Someone killed Carson!
No.
Can you guys hear me, by the way?
No.
Kill,
No.
can you hear me?
Everybody just start pointing at who you think did it.
Can you guys hear me?
I think Teal did it.
Kill, can you
I
hear me?
wasn't anywhere near! I have...
How do you?
Somebody...
You don't know where the body is. How do you know you weren't there?
Yeah, Teal. Yeah, you don't know exactly.
I was doing my
Can you guys hear me?
task, it's all on stream.
Where was
One of
your
you
task?
must be
Where
stream
was your
sniping
task,
me
huh?
right now. Can
Huh?
back
Where's
me
your
up.
task?
That's
Where was your
boring.
task, Teal? Huh? Huh?
Huh?
Listen, I'm not racist. I'm not racist,
Kill.
but let's eject
Kill,
her.
can you hear me?
Wow!
Oh wow! Wow!
Yeah, you guys can hear me, right?
It's just eject the racist. Eject the racist.
Yeah, we're rejecting the
Akio, can you hear me?
He doesn't have his mic on. He can't argue with us.
Me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Just to make
exactly.
sure.
You're being mean to
Yeah.
him.
Okay. I'm not used to
By his
mute
colour,
yet.
not his words.
I'm not used to the mute icon. I just
Are
noticed.
they
it.
saying anything in text chat?
Yeah.
No.
Let's vote. You know who to vote out, guys.
How does? So, do you control your hands with like your scroll wheel?
That yeah, that's like the gestures.
Huh.
What, huh?
And you right.
Should we
I
just skip the
already
vote?
know it has already
We just
points.
skip the vote. Let's
Everyone
skip the
else?
vote.
Brown!
But yeah,
I don't know
we're
how
doing
to do
Among
it,
Us,
Brown,
and then
vote,
chat
Brown.
recommend. I kind of just doing this because
Please.
Brown.
Hey,
Any
speak to him
Among Us,
kindly.
hell,
Speak to him kindly.
Kill even give
Spicy,
them.
spicy, my beloved friend.
I
Vote
thought, why
on
not do this
someone
for a
to
bit?
kill.
You know,
Vote on
I think
Teal!
alerts are set up, but
Vote for the racist!
Vote on the racist, please.
vote who's
Did
not
you just
racist.
tap him? Give him a head pat?
All right,
Yeah, give the head
Kill.
Bye, Teal.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
You don't
Kill.
get headbutts?
Oh man, who would have thought?
Oh.
Alright.
Well, that's how it always
Oh, my
goes.
tests aren't this way. This is disorienting.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm not used to this yet. I'll be completely honest. It's so weird. I'm not used to these controls either. Like for Among Us 3D, like it just feels weird. Oh, wait, other side. Alright, 1 second.
Says. I swear to God, if it's fucking Simon Says,
I am up lights.
at least only 4. Oh, I pressed one button. How did I get it wrong?
Okay, this is just Simon Says, and it feels so weird.
Wait, what was that?
I'm playing on Simon. I'm just doing
Oh.
the same thing as you. No worries.
Bottom left. Top right. Eh.
I'm gonna stay next to you. I don't want to die yet. Oh, sabotage is electric. Who's alive?
Oh, I didn't press it twice. I pressed it once. Oh.
Are you in VR, Galaxy?
Yes.
Then I'm scared. Yeah, that's a look. I'm going.
Oh, finally.
Thank God.
Oh my God.
I can tell you're.
Simon Says it's only 4 fucking buttons, but it's terrible.
I can
What's he
tell
going
you're
on about?
struggling.
What did he happen about?
He was in VR and he was struggling about Simon Says. You're both doing the task.
Ooh. Oh, Kappa.
What's
Kappa.
up?
Kappa, leave the camera.
Leave it? Okay.
What?
Oh.
I
Wait,
found
where was
two
that body?
bodies
Where was the
Where?
body? Yeah.
What?
in electrical?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
there were 3 of them. Wow.
Oh my god.
I was in reactor.
Who
so-
Brown?
It wasn't Rainbow
Yeah,
Kappa.
I was with
did
Galaxy,
see
yeah.
2 people coming from from electrical, but they might have just went
What
out.
electrical was being sabotaged, wasn't it? That was
Was it? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
I was,
'cause the
I
power
was
went out.
doing that Simon Says
the power
for so
went out,
long.
and we were in there.
And it was 2 bodies in there right
I don't
next
think
to
it's
each other, so it
Akio
was
because
definitely
Akio was in
both
cams
imposters.
across.
I don't.
So good. I didn't see Jolly, but also there's
Oh,
like one
check-
of us.
check-
Red? Who's red over here? Who's this guy?
There's nothing in text
We
chat.
agree. We agree. It's Akio and Jolly, right?
Who's red?
What?
Who's red over there?
We saw
Why
you.
would it be? Why would it be
We
me and
saw you
Jolly?
coming from electrical.
Okay,
Red
there is a
doing
question.
jack
Who
shit.
is red?
We've been
There's literally
together
someone
the
over
entire
there.
time.
Like, should we just
Maybe
vote red out?
Jolly's been together the entire time. I think it's you two.
I don't
was
think it's any of this,
Simon
guys.
Says
I don't
we're
think
so
it's.
goddamn
Is there how
wrong.
many imposters
I
are
don't believe
there?
you.
Are there 2 or
What's the
1?
point of pointing a finger at me if, like, you know that it's you?
Jolly, Akio, Galaxy.
It's not.
Who? How many imposters are we working with? 1 or 2?
Okay, but just remember, it has to be one of you 3. It could be like Jolly and Red, but it could also be Red.
I
and
think
Akio.
it's
It could
Red,
also be
personally.
Akio and Jolly.
I'm voting
Vote.
Galaxy.
Okay, sure, do it. Red, is Red alive?
Yeah, it's right in the corner. They're in the corner. Oh my god! I told you they were in the
Yeah,
fucking
it's over.
corner.
Wow.
They were in the fucking corner.
Akio,
Sleep.
you asshole.
Carson, I genuinely fucking misclicked. I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
Akio.
I was gonna third imposter you.
I feel.
freak.
Oh my.
Okay,
Akio.
can we
Yeah, that's
can we
right.
kick red?
Not
Can we
only
kick
did you-
red?
Yeah, let's kick
Kick red.
Red.
They're an imposter.
Like,
Of course,
I,
kick them.
I genuinely can't hear you. There's so much noise.
I don't know how to kill them. Let's see here. Audio, gameplay, video controls. How do I kick a player?
Is it boat kick?
Press Q.
I'm
And
beating
P.
up red.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there's a boat
red,
kick.
Red is getting kicked. Did it work?
I don't think it did anything. I think it's a boat kick.
Oh, I don't want to report them. I just want to kick them.
Yeah, that's the middle one, right? I think it's a boat kick toggle. So you click it, and then I think if enough people have it on, it will kick them.
I don't know how it works in VR.
Yo, I think it's a toggle. So if enough people have it toggled on, then they will be kicked.
Can I enable
Like that.
text chat?
Thank you.
No,
Okay, red is gone.
He's dead.
How do I enable text
Kick
chat?
Q. Q, I think
Oh,
too.
Teal, can you enable engineers?
No, that's
Okay, I'll
cringe.
enable one NG.
No.
Engineers are
that's
cool.
good.
I like
Wait,
them.
wait,
No.
text chat's not on? You can't have like
Wait,
custom
Teal,
text chat. It's only
See, what happens if I do
pages?
this? If I just
Yeah.
Are you ready, Akio?
does anything happen?
I will not
I can
look
see your
at you.
hands.
Ready?
I'm on the floor. I do I just look
We just
normal?
got a 10th person. Who is
Yeah,
it?
you
Who
look normal.
joined?
You're still standing up.
Aw.
Yeah.
Can you see what- can you see what-
I just
Yeah,
wanna fall.
Jolly?
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Carson,
says
Johnny's
chat
here.
is enabled.
Are you
Johnny,
blind?
why? How do you have a horse?
No, Carson,
Yo,
Carson.
are you
Oh, hey,
blind?
Biders, how are you doing?
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, chat enabled.
Hello.
Hello, how do you wave?
Just a
I'm
real.
in VR.
I think it's one. Oh, PR, I don't
think
know.
I did.
That's how I
don't think I did a
wave.
single
Oh,
intentional.
we got
Hey, just
Bidazor.
came on,
Everybody say
Akio.
Hi, Bidazor. Hi, Bidazor.
Hi,
Bidazor.
Bidazor.
Hi, Bidazor.
Hi, Bidazor.
Change your hat.
Took you long enough to
I'll kill
notice.
you. I'm kidding.
I was too
We can
busy
both have the same.
jacking it on
I'm
Akio.
Hi, guys.
caring for Red. I missed them.
You
I
missed a
don't know how
corpse.
to do text.
Or
Akio, go to the camera.
If you want to do
Okay.
text, you just have to use like the in-game text.
Yeah, you
Same.
can't
Everyone
type.
get in there. Everyone get in
I
there.
don't think. You have to use like
Get in there.
Yeah,
preset
everyone,
stuff,
everyone get in.
Yeah,
Everyone get in.
which is really sad.
We're gonna take a
Everyone get
group
in the
photo.
camera.
Group photo.
Your photo.
Galaxy, yeah.
Say hi, you too.
Why does
Everyone
that
get
get
in.
in the fucking way?
Get in
I
the
don't
group
really
photo!
like being.
Get in the
No,
photo.
you're perfectly
That's
fine.
cringe. You're cringe.
Say
I'll
cheese.
take the picture.
Cheese.
Cheese burrito.
Cheese.
There you are.
That's a good
Till-
photo.
That is a nice
That's a good photo.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Totally, I can see your inner pores.
Galaxy. All right, everybody, get back in.
Cheese.
Oh my god.
All right, guys.
I'm the
Oh my god, I'm
imposter this
imposter.
time.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, buddy system. Groups of three.
Okay,
Buddy
Teal,
system.
can you come with
guys,
me?
Akio.
Here, Teal,
Yeah,
you
let's
stay
just
with me.
all be a huddled mass. They can't kill us if
Yeah,
we're
that's
all in a huddled
that's
mass.
right.
Leaving.
No,
Bye.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going over
Oh,
here.
I have fucking Simon Says again. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me.
Okay, gladly.
Oh, Simon, and what did he say?
What this? I'm not gonna say that. What's up?
Hold on. Did something happen over here?
What's up?
Oh, that is
Oh.
a body.
Oh, that's a bomb.
Oh, that's a.
It's a
that's
pipe bomb.
bomb.
Galaxy.
No,
Galaxy.
I
what
was-
What's that?
Why are
What?
you out of breath? How the fuck is that
It's not Bidazor. Bidazor, me and
What?
Charlie were together.
You're fucking booking it out of breath.
I was running. Look, you like to run?
He's got motion
Brown
controls
seems to be
on.
pointing a lot of fingers. I think it might be Brown.
Poor Spice.
I think it's
Spice,
brown.
you tried
down,
rebooting your game.
you down,
Have
you
tried
down.
rebooting
down.
your game to talk. I mean, I'm sure you
Oh
have
my
something
God.
very important to say.
I think he has an
Spicy, what
announcement.
did you put as your age? Oh, no, you can speak.
Oh yeah, what did you put as your age?
Me
Because
down,
you can't speak
me
if you're,
down,
like,
me down.
18.
Oh, it's because he's playing on
Me?
Linux
Oh, God.
through like a third-party thing. That might be why. That's
Oh,
Linux.
you're-
Linux.
I'm sorry, man. I'm
I
so
feel bad for
sorry.
Linux.
I'm
Wine
sorry.
I'm
moment.
skipping my vote. I don't know who it is.
You're
Yeah,
we
skibbity.
don't-
That sounds
Any
pretty
evidence.
sus,
I'm
Kill.
going
You're so
to rip off your
skibbity.
face.
You're so
You're
phantom
so
tax.
tax.
What do you-
God.
What are these hand
Carson,
gestures?
why did you stop singing?
I don't know the rest.
How do you do the Macarena?
Don't
Do it,
care
Carson.
Macarena.
for
Carson, do it to
Christmas.
It's not you. I do not want to have risk with you.
Teal, look at Carson.
Carson,
So we
Carson,
just-
What did
Carson,
you
Carson.
just
It's fine.
do to me?
Carson,
How do you do hand gestures?
Carson, let's fight.
I'm on.
Let's fight.
What's up?
Let's
How do you
fight.
do hand gestures?
Right hook.
No one was
No one
ejected.
was ejected. Till your Among Us streams piss me off.
Right hook.
So see Among Us Imposter.
I know. I gotta
No.
do my.
Huddle up,
things.
boys. Let's get
Teal,
cozy.
I don't want to be anywhere near you. I can smell you through the monitor.
So real.
I'm going to.
You're gonna
Yes.
you're gonna what now? You're gonna kill?
Oh, somebody go fix that, or we lose.
Kill.
there you go.
Where are you not coming? Where are you not coming with? It's a little bit sus. Come on.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't want to explode, but we have 20 seconds left.
Go guys. Go,
Guys.
Reaper.
Listen, I don't want to alarm you, but I
Oh,
think
thank
something's
goodness.
happening.
Yeah.
Everybody bundle
I
up,
don't
bundle
need
up,
a
get
wall.
together,
Bundle
get
up,
together.
bundle
Oh, that was a murder attempt. That was a murder attempt. Carson.
I have to stare at this panel.
Stare at the
I hired
panel.
What's up?
Staring.
Get
Staring.
points.
What's up?
That's sorry.
What's
They're
up?
following me. They're following me.
I'm just saying
Doing
stuff.
tasks.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a button.
Okay.
What happened?
Carson, can you explain what that was?
I think it's Bidazor.
Good riddance.
I don't think it was Bidazor.
Why do you think it's me?
Why do you
I
think
saw
it's him?
you
I
run
think it was,
away
I
from
think
the
Galaxy,
body.
you literally were running away from the
What?
body.
Hammer?
You were literally running.
You know what?
Well, I'm just
Hey,
colorblind.
wait.
I'm pretty sure it was green.
Wasn't there like 5 people near
I saw
Teal
Galaxy
when I
running away.
left?
I was
Yeah.
messing
Where
with
did you
Teal
all
and I
go?
turned
Yeah,
around.
everybody-
I was literally
I
turning
was
around
walking
and I saw
away, like,
the dead body.
From the body.
I went up to Teal like you did, just made noises.
Yeah,
and
that's what I
walked away.
did. And then
I saw you walk away from the body. Kappa just watched and didn't report it. I don't know what was going on there.
I just
Well,
turned
maybe
around and
Carson
realized.
did it
No,
then.
I didn't
Or
do
maybe
it.
Carson
I
did.
just
Was
saw
it
it.
Carson your team
Happen.
too?
Like I didn't realize it.
I didn't see
I was in
anyone
admin with
that entire
Tino.
round.
I think it was
That is a
Spinosaur.
lie,
I think
because
Galaxy.
I
it was
Do you think
really
it's
suspicious
Spinosaur?
Kappa did not report
Hey
it.
Tino, was I an
saying-
I
admin with
didn't
you?
know.
Yeah, we were
I'm still
chilling.
not used to knowing how to play this
You
game,
didn't know
guys.
there was a dead body.
Yeah,
in the
I don't know how to report. I don't know how to report
You
yet.
were-
I don't know how
you
to
were right
report.
next to Teal literally 3 seconds before the body got reported.
I don't know how to report and be
Everybody was near Teal.
I don't know
Oh,
where Teal
everybody
was.
except
I
Me and
Me,
Tino, we were in
okay.
admin.
I do know that we were messing with
no,
Teal.
I was not. I was not with
What do you
that.
I
mean
was
you were
literally
in
doing the
admin? How did
upload.
you get an admin in like literally 3 seconds?
Because
I was
It's-
swiping my car. That's
here's
all,
storage, here's admin. It's right there.
That's,
Okay, well, this is the first time I played this game. I want it.
Yeah, that's well.
Oh,
Today the
okay.
game came out for the
Just
first time.
like
Not
skip
good.
or-
I would say
I
uh,
think here.
it's not me. It's not me.
You just watched the body on the ground.
Yeah, but I'm not the one that killed it.
What?
Huh?
This stupid.
All right, that's
The goddamn Pepsi.
Pepsi. Wait, you say Pepsi?
I'm so mad. I don't trust any of you guys.
That's fair.
Oh, there we go. It's going. I don't. Everybody's in a group again.
Yeah, I don't trust anyone here.
What? How rude.
Except
It's already
maybe Garth.
gone.
Hotkeys.
Jake, please stop following.
Oh, Teal, where are ya? I'm trying to look for someone I know. I can't find it.
Well, I guess I can just go check cameras. Leave me alone. I don't. Go away.
I wasn't
Stop chasing me.
I'm not chasing you. What are you talking about? I'm not chasing anyone. I'm just trying to find people that I know. I'm not chasing anyone. What are you talking about? Have you guys seen Chill? Out of curiosity?
I don't know.
I thought he snuck away somewhere.
Hello, Kappa. Hello.
Hello.
Tino, right?
I'm not Tito.
I can see him.
Oh, they straight up just do
Yeah,
not.
guys.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's
They
cool.
had cams.
Mine.
And the right
That's
stick
fine.
changes camera. It's all
Oh, yeah, look, I can see you moving.
God, these used to not
Move
work.
the kit. Galaxy, go back to this
Zoom,
one.
Carson.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yay!
look at that.
Oh.
Sabotage,
Oh,
Come
sabotage.
on. Oh, well, that's easy.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Everybody-
Friendship! That's a
Yippee!
dead body.
Hopefully your body is not discovered
Nearby.
like in the hit game
Kill him.
Danganronpa.
No.
Be-
I-
Yeah.
We didn't say anything. Kill him. Kill Jolly Crab. No,
Alright,
nothing's
we're
going on.
going
Right.
back.
Kill him. What? Oh!
Oh!
Dinosaur. Awesome.
Okay, you know what? Galaxy,
idea
you
what
were
that was.
right. I'm sorry.
That, it was Bitosaur.
It was
Oh,
Bitosaur.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't me.
No,
I was
Galaxy,
literally
or,
important this time.
Well,
Bitosaur.
yeah, I was trying.
It was literally Binosaur. Literally, he said kill. They said kill him, and they killed
That
him.
would have
Jolly.
been.
It's literally Binosaur. What the hell, dude? You just literally just killed
I'm
someone.
sorry,
He said kill
Dinosaur,
him.
you'll get it next time. You'll get it next time.
I'm
I
just
mean,
a
hear me
silly
out.
guy.
It was pretty funny though.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
It's
Binosaur.
okay. It's okay. Murdering people, like, we all feel like we need
Listen,
to do it.
We all feel like
Everybody does it
monsters.
sometimes.
Listen,
Everyone
if
does
you
it.
skip, I will kill Jolly Crab. If you skip, I will kill Jolly
No,
Crab. and
why
then
would
you
we
can
want
vote me
him
out.
dead?
Why do we
No,
want
no,
that?
Why
no.
do you
I
want
want
murder?
Jolly
Dead.
Sand. I know. I
It's
want
fucking
Jolly's blood on
Jackal.
my hands, not yours.
Why do we
Who
want
wants this?
murder in Among Us? I wonder.
Okay, let's go.
Kind of cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man.
It's like
My life be like.
nearing close to 1
ooh,
a.m. I hope
ah.
no one can hear me. Yeah, to see there's another. So
Attention, New York City.
The Pentagon
Huh?
needs your
New
credit
York-
card number.
New York City, you listen to me. If you're near a convenience store, any type of 24-hour store, go in the store right now and put your hand in the cash register for no reason. That money is
How
your
are
money.
what's going on
As
with
of
tasks?
right
Are we
now.
almost? Is everyone almost done with tasks and stuff?
I'm done with
No,
mine.
Yeah,
no,
I
I haven't done
finished.
shit. Actually,
Dude, finish that! Finish that so we
Fuck.
win!
Pepsi. Pepsi. Pepsi.
You know,
I don't like this.
I
don't like this.
What are you doing to me, dude? Jeez.
Get me out of here!
I'm not doing anything, dude. I'm not doing anything. I think it's pretty funny that you ran away, though.
that's sad.
You literally.
Oh.
Aww.
Where was the body?
So it's
Kappa,
like a
it's you,
50-50 right now, isn't it?
I
Because
think
it's not
so.
me or you. We know that.
I can vouch for you two, yeah. Jolly, what's up? Where were you?
Kappa, it's literally you, though.
It's not me. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Jolly doesn't do shit.
Yeah,
He's chilling.
but he could just he
And
literally
Jolly,
is
Jolly's
muted.
just Jolly.
Where was Jolly? Like I'm genuinely
Jolly
curious. Where was
like
Jolly?
a crab. Oh wait, hold on. Jolly's typing.
Where was Jolly?
Rainbow Kappa killing Kayexy fell. Okay.
No,
that's
no,
enough.
it wasn't
Okay.
me. It wasn't
I
me.
believe Jolly, frankly.
But why
Yeah,
don't you
I
believe me?
Who wouldn't
Give
believe
me-
Jolly?
Give me all your
Just like-
reasons. Give me all your reasons why it's me. Give me
Jolly Crab is jolly like a crab.
Yeah.
But
Jolly
crabs
doesn't do anything.
hurt people.
Boom.
That's
Good enough.
obviously a lie.
Vote already. Kappa.
Yeah. Hi guys.
Yo.
Rainbow Kappa, kind of threw the game. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't know. I don't even know how to sabotage in this game, guys. Like I really don't even know how to
All right, we're gonna
what's
do
going
one
on.
Yeah,
more, and then I'm gonna make a new,
Kappa, you
I'm gonna make a new lobby. Okay?
I wasn't throwing. I don't even know what's going on. Like really, I don't.
Maps.
And I look at them, and I point to both of them. and look
Yeah,
at
I'll
them.
do a different map on the
What do you
next
think
one.
I-
Guys, I was
Yeah,
not.
what map
I don't
is
even
that?
know what's going on.
What did you
Okay,
think
I didn't mean to
I don't
throw.
know.
I didn't even know what the hell's going on. Really.
I will be honest, it was.
Oh, I didn't hear
I
you.
don't know how.
Please let me be a
nobody,
killer.
like,
Please let me be a
caught
killer.
me the first
Oh
time.
my god, I'm the imposter. I'm the
Oh my
imposter.
god,
guys.
Among
I'm
Us.
the
Oh
imposter.
my god, I'm the
Sussy.
sussy crewmate, guys. It's
Do
me.
one more, and then I'm gonna make a
Gotta
new
vote me out, I'm sorry.
I
What are
really
you
don't.
hoping to
I really don't even know what the hell is going on. So it's kind of pissing me off that you guys really think I was throwing. I'll be honest. But this is really just. My...
I see. Respond to DMs.
Oh man.
That was an admin.
Yeah, well,
Who
that answers my question.
died? Who died?
Oh,
Charlie.
Charlie murdered
Charlie.
It,
guys, it was
it
me.
wasn't Bidazor and it wasn't Brown.
Sorry,
I don't
guys,
think
it was
Tino.
me.
Me and Galaxy were both doing the same task in reactor, so it wasn't
That
us.
kid was in the greenhouse.
You want to know who I
Yeah.
didn't see once this game? Creep.
Oh.
Creep.
I've
I
seen
didn't-
him like 4 times.
I
I've
also
been
didn't see
chilling.
Teha at all.
I was with
Yeah.
like the main group in electrical.
I didn't.
Oh, were
no,
you?
weren't.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
You
it
weren't-
was
You want to
me.
know who
Tail.
else I didn't see? Myself. Because there were no
All
Alright,
Tail.
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 How could you?
Tail.
Jay, how
You
could
did
you
see
not
yourself.
see
It was
yourself?
Tail.
You're
It was
so
Tail. It was
fat.
Tail.
You're
It was
always in your peripheral.
I'm voting for Carson
He did
just
see
because of
himself.
that comment.
It was Teal. He did see himself.
I
It was
kill Teal.
I'm
Kill
with that.
Teal.
Let's not do
Killing,
that. Let's not do
killing
that.
me is always funny, but it's
You're-
never
you're rubbing me
productive.
wrong.
Just
It's
skip
never
the vote.
practical.
Let's just skip. We're skipping. Skip.
Oh.
Mark my words. If Teal's dead next round, it's me.
It's him. Alright.
Okay.
Well, we know who it
Note to
is.
self,
Funny.
kill Teal.
Note to
Yeah,
self.
this
Imposter
guy
kill
gets it. This guy
kill.
gets
Three
it.
blame Carson card.
Brown.
Spicy.
Brown.
Spicy. Just vote.
Hey,
Just
Akio
vote
thinks it's
spicy.
Tay.
Shut up!
What did?
Why was it so loud? Why you threw him out?
He was a crewmate. Alright,
I
let's
had reasonable
Let's have a
suspicion. All
conversation.
right, listen.
Oh, I gotta go upload. Oh. Boop. Hit Val. How's it going?
So. Oh, that's way easier to do cart there.
Help me! Help me!
Huh? Oh.
Among Us in real life.
Super Mario in real life. Spaghetti!
Okay.
Ah.
Sus. Ooh, come here. Come here.
What's up? Carson, are you the imposter?
Okay, here's a hint. On. Oh, I didn't see what that was. Oh, it was right. Okay.
How am I
One
supposed to
sec.
do this? There we go.
Hold on, let me finish this and then I'll tell you a secret.
Alright,
Oh.
I have a bad feeling Carson did it.
No.
Okay, so I want to know real quick, if me or Galaxy start chasing at you and continuously pointing and unpointing at you, that's a pretty good hint we're not imposter because that's also the kill button.
No, I know. Just play with it.
What if you're lying? What about
I got the hint that,
Okay, so
that
it
you
was
wouldn't
in
be able to
this
do
room right
both.
here. The body was in this room. It was like right over here.
Alright.
So one thing that was very strange to me was who is Brown again? What's her name?
Spicy?
Spicy.
Spicy.
Spicy brown,
Spicy
yeah.
was just like fucking. Now here he's like AFK.
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's
sure if
spicy.
he did Anything.
Spicy
No,
Did you
seems
guys
too
catch any of what I
chill.
said?
So it's
No,
either
you walk too far away.
Spicy,
Okay,
Teja,
so-
or Galaxy.
Yeah,
So
I
what
was
I,
with
what, I, what I
Carson.
was saying was, can you guys come over here real quick so you can like follow my train of thought?
You know what's up?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Brown was just standing here, like and like AFK. He was looking away, and the body was like right over there. And so like I understand why you would do that. If you're, I
That's
don't know.
so real though.
Did you see the body at all? Did you see the person you killed, or like I don't want to.
Why
I
is
don't
he
want to
telling
point
me
fingers.
to relax?
No.
Who do we
Why
think
did
it
you
is?
Tell me in
Yeah.
chat to relax.
So it's
Okay, like,
so
'cause, like,
Relax.
I don't fucking know who did it. I just came out of medbay, and then there was a dead body here. And-
I have a weird feeling it's not.
Kill
who you're
Taylor!
thinking.
What the fuck did I do?
You're acting defensive and scared, like you're doing something wrong.
I'm never wrong!
You're acting like fearful that you did
Spicy's
something, like
definitely
a
won.
murder.
I'm never
Oh
wrong.
wow, that was close. Oh wait, no, it actually did it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
like they were
never
acting
wrong.
so offensive about it,
Crazy.
like they were like, I didn't do anything
saw
wrong.
Tehar chasing Akio. It was funny. Like there was just screaming in front of him.
I was like wondering what was going on. I heard screaming in the background.
Spicy's gonna kill me. Do.
Do 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 do.
Among Us in real life. Sus. Sus.
It's on the other side.
What do you mean
Nobody
failed?
would go to
We're
get
just gonna
that.
chill.
Sabotage.
Alright, I'm
Listen,
going
I had
with-
to cancel that
Yeah.
task 3
Follow
times.
me.
I'm not making it a 4th.
You're throwing?
And
Bro, don't throw.
It's about the
At least I know when not to throw.
if they win because
Okay,
you
no,
guys,
they're not.
Dude, no! Wait, I don't know the code.
Get over there!
Do the
I knew it.
code!
I knew it was spicy.
Oh.
You guys are.
Ah!
Gino,
Alright.
you said nothing?
Bro, stop really.
I thought, why put shame on you?
You're making a new lobby,
Fine
too.
job.
Hey, listen, man. It was just the vibes, you know. Like, it was just
Shame
it.
on you.
Can I honk your headphone?
For shame!
For shame, all the humanity!
Okay, everybody,
Good work,
because
good
I
work.
think when I do it, it crashes the game. So everybody press escape and click leave game, or your game will crash.
What's the escape button?
The red X on your window. Turn it off and turn it back on again.
Galaxy, it doesn't break us. It
That
only
is
breaks.
good
It only
picture.
breaks them. That's a PC
No.
issue.
Yeah, I think once I leave the lobby, since I'm a host, you'll all have trouble. So press escape and hit leave game, and that will help.
Can I hold on? Can I honk your headphones?
Yes. This is very.
Honk honk.
This is very invasive.
Come here, Kitty. You want a kissy?
All right, I'm gonna make a new lobby. I'm not letting you back in.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna head out for now, guys. I wanted to do a stream though, and it was fun. So, yeah. Appreciate everyone coming by. You know, all that. Till next time, Kappa's out. Actually, I'm gonna wait till just. Because he is the main one I'm shoving. Oh, that one viewer that's dark and hanging out. Appreciate you coming by the way. I hope everyone's coming by. Really appreciate you. Yeah, you. Yeah. You.